reveals that she had a miscarriage. So this was last night on the 2-hour finale of her docuseries on OWN, Lindsay. And basically, gosh, I watched the whole docuseries. So there's so much here that I actually want to talk about. So let's just have this be raw and real and just conversational, because it's not just her miscarriage that is the issue here, because a lot of people this morning, I was reading the different commentary on a variety of different media outlets, and some people, and I even hate saying this out loud because I would never want to doubt somebody that goes through this.
Yeah.
Some people are doubting her, and I'll tell you why. If you watch the docuseries,
I'm one of them, by the way.
Okay. Yeah. If you watch the docuseries, Lindsay, who's trying to turn over a new leaf and show that she's in recovery and wants another shot at being on set, she continuously says, I just want to be on set. I just want to be an actress. I'm healthy. I'm ready. But then you see in the docuseries over and over and over again, she shows up hours late and doesn't even text or call the production. So the production is like, she just did this thing for Funny or Die. This was on last night. And they're like waiting and waiting and waiting. Meanwhile, it's 3:20 and they're running out of light. And so they're like, if she's not here in like 5 minutes, we're shutting it down, right, and we're going to tape it without her. And then she ends up coming. But she doesn't even text them or answer them. And this is just one of the examples. There was another shoot with Elle magazine where she was hours late to the point where the light had gone, and the photographer was a natural lighting photographer. That was his specialty. So he felt defeated. They had to meet the very next day. All these production teams, the documentary series, that production team, day upon day after upon day, they wouldn't hear from Lindsay. And this is where she finally brought it up, because last night in the docuseries, they gave like a little update. Mm-hmm. So that little point where you guys heard that she had the miscarriage is an update. So that's like where the production team and Oprah met. Oprah wasn't in it, but met back with her after the docuseries was released. Okay. So Lindsay has seen it. She's seen everybody talk about how she's still unprofessional. She's still showing up late. Mm-hmm. Mind you, sometimes she does show up on time, but for the most part, there is a pattern here. Right. And so because it was the update portion of it where she said, listen, the reason why I was MIA for some of those production calls and didn't communicate with people was because I had suffered a miscarriage. And that's why people are like, is she just trying to save her own skin? What do you guys think?
I don't hate Lindsay at all. I just feel really, really bad for her. And I feel like at this point, with the reality show and everything she's doing, I just feel like she's made a career out of pretending like she wants a career. And that's what it's gonna be from now on for the rest of her life.
Because you haven't seen actions.
I mean, how many chances are they going to give to her? And I feel bad, and it is a mental illness. She's has an addiction, and it's horrible, especially this miscarriage thing, especially if it's true. Even if she's lying, I feel terrible for her. She's going through a lot. She has to deal with people just shitting all over her on a daily basis. That said, I don't think we should keep giving her the opportunity to behave this way, because it's unacceptable.
Yeah. It's where the thing is, you have to ask yourself, where do you feel most engaged in the conversation of Lindsay Lohan? If you feel most engaged in the conversation of, is she lying about her miscarriage? That's your problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to be engaged in a real conversation about Lindsay Lohan, you need to be engaged in a conversation about addiction. You need to be engaged in a conversation about recovery. Like, that's the only part that is redeeming to spend any time messing around with.
Yes.
Otherwise, I mean, yes, you can also talk about the redeeming quality of being on time, of following through on promises. And then if it's something that has to do with a medical situation like a miscarriage, that's a very private matter. If that was the case, good for her. She stayed with it and didn't feel the need to explain it to anybody.
Yeah.
Then just at least communicate to the production team, listen, I'm going to need some private time for 2 weeks, instead of just being MIA, because that's where people left scrambling. The production team continued to show up every day, to the point where they called Oprah and they said, we can't do this anymore. Like, we're showing up every day and we're not getting a response. So Oprah threatened to pull the rug from from underneath her in the entire production. Yeah. So believe me, my heart breaks for her if she indeed, I think you really hit the nail on the head. Whether or not she had a miscarriage or felt the need to lie about it, my heart breaks for her. I have such compassion for addiction, so much empathy for people that are in recovery. For that being said, maybe you shouldn't have done this docuseries showcasing such a vulnerable time of your recovery, because I'm not sure if it helped you.
I don't know. It's difficult because
sure
maybe
that her, though,
well,
Brett.
in that it's hard to fully understand the situation of addiction unless you can follow it through the hardest times.
I know, but I would hate to have her career be hurt because she should be going through ups and downs right now. That's normal. And maybe it was too soon for her to try to attempt to show up on time to some of these things. But I just don't want her
chances of a future
crappy
to
docu-teen.
be derailed by the fact that she's kind of shown this part of herself.
Yeah, I mean,
it is.
I don't think it's any hurt. I don't think it's hurt any more by showing this part of herself. There's no way.
I disagree with that, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Well,
sorry.
they did a man on the street at the end of the docuseries where they started interviewing people
Right.
that watched her show, and people were saying that they now see her as pathetic and that she hasn't changed. Some people were saying that they relate to her and her story of addiction. So you did get that, but then you did see people saying that, oh my gosh, she's still showing up late, nothing's changed, why are people giving her another chance? And then some people just tuning in to see her fashion. That's the broad spectrum of
Welcome
viewership.
to America.
Yeah, exactly. Shauna, what are your thoughts on this? Because you doubt her.
I mean, I doubt her, but it's one of those things where Brett made a great point when he said,
Really?
where are you? Yes, you did. You did that one time. No.
Yeah, no.
Where you pointed out that it really doesn't matter if that shouldn't be the focus of what we're talking about with Lindsay Lohan. And for me, when I first heard it, I was like, oh, she's just making shit up. And the reason I was kind of very dismissive of her is because her treatment of herself and of her career shows that she is dismissive. Yeah. So it makes it very easy for me to belie anything that she's saying by saying, oh, it's probably not important, and she's probably making it up. It's a convenient scapegoat. I mean, what am I going to do? Ask you for, blood tests proving this? What kind of, that would make me the asshole. So rather, it's easy for me to just kind of blithely say, you're full of crap.
A lot of people think that.
And, so unfortunately, I do see what you're saying in terms of she's fresh out of recovery or out of rehab, I should say. So she really is going to be going through a very difficult transition period in terms of getting accustomed to life outside of the safety of a rehab facility. But at the same time, she's not only an adult, she's also someone with a team of people around her to advise
shame on
her.
them.
And so whether it's that she insisted on doing it anyway because she's an adult, she still has
the paycheck,
or the
there could be a number
paycheck
of
or
reasons.
whatever that is, she still was cognizant when she entered into this agreement. And if things change along the way, totally own up to that and say things have changed. But the fact that she's not at a maturity level to act, whether it's because of what happened in terms of a miscarriage, I won't say it's fake, but she wasn't at a maturity level to say, hey, something's going on with me right now.
Right.
I can't handle this.
Exactly, right.
There's only one way to solve this.
What?
Lindsay Cam.
Lindsay Cam?
Oh, 24/7 Lindsay Lohan camera.
I
What a crappy docu-series team. If their job is to document the life of Lindsay Lohan and they're like, where is she? Anyone who watches Planet Earth knows that they sit
that's
in hiding.
paparazzi.
I mean, the
They
paparazzi
sit-
does a better job at documenting
Yeah.
her life than her docuseries.
I did like the idea that she really did make addiction relatable, if that makes sense. Like when I was
Put a face
watching
on
it, yeah, it put a face on it, and I did feel like that there were moments where I really commended her, and then there was I was conflicted throughout the whole series, and then there was moments where I was angry, like, why is she doing this? Why did Oprah, even dangle this carrot in front of her? This is such a vulnerable time in her life. And then there was times where I was like, you're the same old person, not letting these people sit and wait for you for hours and hours and hours at a time. And at the end of the day, I think, back to your point, Brett, is just that this is addiction.
Yeah.
And I wish her all the
habits are
best.
hard
I
to
really
break.
do. Anybody that battles addiction, I really want to see them become clean. I do.
And I just want to say, habits are hard to break,
Yeah.
and
That's
it
why
takes
there's
time
Yes.
to actually to change, to have a demonstrative change in your behavior and in how you're perceived is going to take time. And she.
And that's
Unfortunately,
all
doesn't seem to
documented,
have
and that's
allowed
all-
herself that time. That's what it is, because if you have the habitual of being late or taking drugs or whatever, it takes time to get out of. If every day you get up and you snort some crack, Or
And
do you
most
snort
people
crack?
can kind of
I don't even know.
keep that to themselves and keep it private
Right.
while they work on themselves, while this is completely documented for all to see. And I do fear that this will hurt her chances of having to come back.
Really quickly,
Yeah.
I don't even feel bad for the production or people that wait around for her anymore because they know what they're getting into at this point.
But
with
they
Lohan.
don't. They work for OWN.
But they're
They don't.
hoping to get something juicy, and they're hoping to get Lindsay on like a.
That's true.
To your
Producers
point-
are
They're-
producers.
to your point,
Final
it's
thoughts, we gotta go.
if you're
Yeah.
saying like I feel bad for like the makeup people, they're getting 2 days of pay. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're
So
still getting
it's
paid.
it's the people who the individuals
Yeah.
who were like, this is a great idea for a show.
Right.
I
And
don't
I
feel
just
bad
want to
for
say
them.
this
Yeah.
is a PR life of Lindsay, because at the end of the day, like you said, they're not following her around. It's she's coming in. So it's obviously still curated the image that they're showing of her.
Yeah.
If they really wanted like in depth, they're like, oh, we're gonna put cameras in your house and
Right.
cameras in your cars and all of
Do
that.
it.
So
And I'm all for that.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so what did you guys think about Lindsay Lohan's series, Lindsay on OWN, number 1? Number 2, her coming out and revealing that she had a miscarriage, and just addiction in general. Please share all your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you all next time on Pop Trigger.